Welcome back, Webelos Scouts, for Activity 14, setting up tents, tying knots, and marble games. Hemphill, Camino Real, Blanco Vista Elementary, and all others are welcome.
For more fun activities at home, visit our YouTube channel, Sacred Springs Scout Reach. Please join me in the Scout Oath. On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to God and my country and to obey the Scout law, to help other people at all times, to keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight. Please join me in the Scout law. A Scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent.
Cub Scout sign. Tell what it means. Make the sign with your right hand. Hold your arm straight up. The two raised fingers stand for the Scout Oath and the Scout Law. The fingers look like the sharp ears of the wolf, ready to listen to a Kela. Remember that a Kela means good leader to a Cub Scout. Your mother or father or guardian is a Kela. So is your Cub Master or your den leader. At school, your teacher is a Kela.
Say the Cub Scout motto. Tell what it means. The Cub Scout motto is do your best. A motto is a guiding principle and a rule for living. Do your best means trying your hardest, not just a little bit. Do your best all the time. Do your best in school and at home. Do your best when you play a game and help your team. Do your best as you work on your rank adventures.
Let's go camping!
Requirement 1. With the help of your den leader or family, plan and conduct a camp out. If you went camping when you were younger, your parents or other adults may have done all the planning. As a Webelos Scout, you get to help plan your own adventures. Work with your den leader or another adult in charge of your camp out to help plan it. Pick a location and dates and make a list of activities that you could do on the camp out. Our camp out: location, departure date and time, return date and time, adult leader in charge, activities, special equipment we need. On one of our Webelos campouts, we saw some deer grazing near a lake. After they left, our den leader showed us how to make plaster casts of their hoof prints. I still have the one I made. If your charter organization does not permit Cub Scout camping, you may substitute a family campout or a day-long outdoor activity with your den or pack. The Scout Basic Essentials. Things you should take on every outing. 1. First aid kit. 2. Extra clothing. 3. Rain gear. 4. Filled water bottle. 5. Pocket knife, if you've earned your whittling chip. As a Boy Scout, you can earn your firearm and chit, which will allow you to carry matches and a fire starter. 6. Flashlight. 7. Trail food. 8. Sun protection. 9. Map and compass. Overnight gear. Tent or tarp, poles and stakes. Ground cloth. Sleeping bag. Pillow. Air mattress or pad. Warm jacket. Sweatshirt. Try to avoid cotton. Sweatpants. For sleeping, try to avoid cotton. Cup, bowl, knife, fork, spoon, mesh bag. Insect repellent. Extra clothing. Toothpaste, toothbrush, soap, washcloth, towel, comb. Webelos Scout uniform. Durable shoes/boots, depending on weather. Hat or cap. Optional items: camera, binoculars, whistle, sunglasses, fishing gear, notebook and pencil, nature books, swimsuit, bath towel, Bible, Testament, prayer book, or other book for your faith.
On arrival at the campout with your den and den leader or family, determine where to set up your tent. Demonstrate knowledge of what makes a good tent site and what makes a bad one. Set up your tent without help from an adult.
A scout is helpful. Setting up camp is easier and more fun when you work together as a team. Taking care of your tent. Your tent will last for years if you take care of it. Remember that a scout is thrifty. Here are some tips. Always pitch it on a ground cloth, which is a sheet of plastic or tarp that protects the floor from dirt, sharp objects, and moisture. Fold the corners of the tarp under the tent so the ground cloth is no bigger than the tent. Otherwise, rain can get in between. Don't wear your shoes inside. Keep tent vents open to let moisture escape. Keep all flames away from tents. Never use candles, matches, stoves, heaters, or lanterns in or near a tent. No tent is fireproof, and all tents can burn or melt when exposed to heat. Let the tent dry in the sun before you take it down. If you have to pack it up wet, set it up again as soon as you get home or hang it indoors until it dries completely. That will prevent mildew from ruining the fabric and making it stink.
Hey everybody, this is Rob, the Director of Customer Service at the Crossroads of America Council. I'm excited to be here for another Scouting Skill of the Day. Today we're going to talk about setting up tents. This is, in the grand scheme of things, a very easy thing to do, but it takes some practice. If you haven't done the practice beforehand in your backyard, guaranteed that first camp out, when that tent comes out of the box for the first time, it's going to be dark, it's going to be cold, it's going to be windy, and it's going to be no fun for anybody. So the first thing we're going to do before we even pull that tent out of the bag is we're going to figure out where we want to set it up at, and we're going to make sure the ground is clear. We're going to take a quick minute, we're going to pick up a bunch of twigs and debris off the ground here where we're going to set it up, and we'll be right back. Okay, so we've got the ground all cleared out here where we're going to set the tent up. We've got a Gannett 4 tent by Peregrine right here. This will be the first time out of the bag for it, so we'll be setting it up together for the very first time. Okay, so we've taken the tent out of the bag and we've got a bunch of different parts here we've got to deal with. We've got a footprint, we've got the body of the tent itself, we've got a rain fly, and over here we've got poles and we've got tent stakes. First thing we're going to do, we're going to grab the rain fly right here and we're going to lay it out on the ground. Okay, we've got our rain fly all laid out. Fantastic feature about this one I did not realize, it's got a logo on the footprint. Logo face up, that means the tarp is face up. Convenient as all get out. Now we're going to lay the tent body over the top of it. Because this is a 2-door tent, there is no front and back. We've got doors on each side of it. So we're going to lay it out nice and flat and right over top of the footprint itself. Okay, we've got the body of the tent laid out right over top of its footprint. Now we're going to take the poles and we're going to get them all set up and into place. Now most of the tent poles you're going to come across are going to have this elastic shock cord in them, which means they're all connected into one piece. You simply have to assemble them and get them all flat together in one section. Okay, you can see we've got 2 long pole sections right here. This is easier to do with 2 people helping you, but it's very capable to do by yourself with just 1. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this end of the pole right here. We are going to insert it through both of these grommets that we see at the base of the tent. Right here. And now we're going to run to the other corner. We're going to grab this end of the pole and we're going to do the same thing over here on this end. And you're going to see how that pole flexes and bends up, just like that. We're going to let it fall over the way it is, and we're going to let it rest there while we do the other one. All right, so we've got both of our main cross poles in place in the corners. Obviously, the tent body isn't set up yet. So all we're going to do to start is we're going to grab the very center hook you see right down here, and we're going to lift it up into place. and we're going to clip it over both of those poles at the same time. Just like that. Now we're going to go through and we're going to attach all of these hooks along the sides. All right, it's starting to look like a tent. We've got all the clips in place on all the poles. We see the body all set up. I opened up one of the doors just because I felt like it. Now the next step is going to be getting the rain fly in place over top of the tent body. It's not a necessity, but if there's a chance you're going to have bad weather, if you think there's going to be rain, it's always a good idea to have it set up. If you know you're in the clear, it's not a requirement, it's not a necessity. You can leave it nice and open. You can see the stars up in the sky at night. Totally up to you. But we're going to go ahead, we're going to get this set in place real quick. Okay, the rain flies over the top and in place. Last step is going to be staking it all out. I'm going to do a quick side note while we're here. If you look right down here at the hook where the rain fly attaches to the body of the tent, you'll notice this is all the same color. This is green and this down here is green. That is the case for every single one of these all the way around the tent. It's not a problem, but it isn't necessarily as user-friendly as it could be. If we look over here real quick at the Eureka, you'll see this is yellow and the bottom, the base of the tent is yellow too. Every other one on this particular tent is black, which means if you match up yellow to yellow, that rain flies in exactly the right space. So all we did was take some yellow electrical tape and we put a piece here and we put a piece here on this. What that means is when we set this up the next time, we're gonna know if we match up those two colors, everything else is gonna fit and work perfectly. So the last thing we're gonna do, we're gonna take our tent stakes and we're gonna stake this tent out into the ground so that if our wind does pick up, it isn't gonna blow anywhere on us. All right, we've got all the stakes in place. We've got them in the corners, we've got them down along the side, and we've got them here holding our vestibule out. And this tent is officially ready for sleeping in tonight. We hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like it, share it, tell your scouting friends about it, and continue scouting at home. Thank you.
Requirement 3. Once your tents are set up, discuss with your den what actions you should take in the case of the following extreme weather events, which could require you to evacuate. A. Severe rainstorm causing flooding. B. Severe thunderstorm with lightning or tornadoes. C. Fire, earthquake, or other disaster that will require evacuation. Discuss what you have done to minimize as much danger as possible. On most campouts, the worst weather you'll see is rain and annoying heat or cold. Sometimes, however, the weather can get dangerous. It's important to be prepared. That's the Scout motto for bad situations. Severe rain and flooding. Flash floods can occur when there is very heavy rain over several hours or steady rain over several days. Because flash floods can strike with little warning, you should never camp on low ground next to streams when rain is expected. When you're camping in the mountains, be aware of the weather upstream from your campsite. Heavy rain miles away can turn into flash floods downstream. If flooding occurs, move to higher ground immediately. Stay out of streams, ditches, and other flooded areas. Adults should never try to drive through floodwaters, no matter how shallow they may seem. Just a few inches of water can carry off a car. To get a rough idea of how far away a storm is, count the number of seconds between when you see lightning and hear thunder. Divide by 5 to get the number of miles. Severe thunderstorms, lightning, and tornadoes. Thunderstorms can be loud and scary. Sometimes they produce dangerous lightning and tornadoes. Lightning can strike 10 miles from a thunderstorm, so you should take shelter in a building or vehicle as soon as you hear thunder, even if the sun is shining overhead. Make sure you're not the highest object in the area and avoid water, open areas, isolated trees, picnic shelters, and metal objects. If you're caught in the open, spread out 100 feet apart and crouch down like you do when you play leapfrog. Tornadoes are funnel clouds that can form in spring and summer thunderstorms. The best place to be if a tornado hits is indoors, either in a basement or closet or against an interior wall. If you're caught outside, get in a ditch and lie as flat as possible. The National Weather Service issues watches when conditions are right for severe weather and warnings when severe weather is occurring. Your leader can carry a portable weather radio or use a mobile phone application to receive information about watches, warnings, and forecasts for your area.
Fires, earthquakes, and other disasters. In very rare cases, such as if there's a forest fire, you may have to evacuate your campsite. Your leader will tell the den where to meet, take attendance, and move the group to safety. Staying found. Anyone can get lost, even adults, but you can do some things to avoid getting lost and to stay safe if you do get lost. Always stay with a buddy. Let an adult know if you and your buddy need to leave the group and tell where you are going. Carry a whistle to signal for help. 3 blasts in a row is the universal distress call. If you think you are lost, remember to stop, stay where you are, and stay calm. Think about how you can help others searching for you. Observe your surroundings and watch for searchers. Plan on how to stay warm and dry until help arrives.
Requirement 5. Do the following. Show how to tie a square knot, 2 half hitches, and a taut line hitch. Explain how each knot is used. Show the proper care of a rope by learning how to whip and fuse the ends of different kinds of rope. Square knot. The square knot has many uses, from securing packages and the sails of ships to tying the ends of bandages. It is also a joining knot because it joins together 2 ropes and because it is the knot you learn when you become a scout. You may also recognize it as part of the World Crest badge that you already wear on your uniform. 1. Hold a rope end in each hand. 2. Pass the right end over and under the rope in your left hand. 3. Pass the rope end now in your left hand over and under the one in your right hand. 4. Pull the knot snug. Remember, right over left, left over right. If you go right over left and then right over left again, you'll end up with a granny knot, which is not very secure. 2 half hitches. A hitch is a knot that ties a rope to something. Use 2 half hitches when you want to tie a rope, called a guy line, to a tent or dining fly. The knot will slide down easily to secure the rope. 1. Pass the end of the rope through the grommet or around the post. 2. Bring the end over and under the body of the rope, known as the standing part. Then back through the loop that has formed. This makes a half hitch. 3. Take the end around the standing part a second time and tie another half hitch. 4. Pull the knot snug.
A taut line hitch is a sliding knot. It allows you to shorten or lengthen a rope depending on what you need. It is a common knot to use during camping, especially to secure your rainfly. A taut line hitch allows you to make the line tight or taut by simply sliding the knot. This knot, interestingly, has been listed in the Boy Scout Handbook since 1910. To tie a taut line hitch, you first go around the tree with your rope. And you're going to go under your standing end with your running end. Then you're going to do 2 loops on your standing end. You go over and through with your running end, and once again over and through with your running end. Then you're going to make a D with your standing and running end, like so. Then you're going to take what's left of your running end, push it through the D, and tighten everything down, to make a taut line hitch. If tied correctly, the taut line hitch won't slip when you pull on it, but you can still tighten it to and away from your tree or tent stake however much you want.
Whipping and fusing rope. As you use rope, the ends can become frayed. To make the ends more durable, you can whip them if the rope is made of natural fibers like sisal, or fuse them if they are made out of synthetic material like nylon. Whipping rope. Cut off the part of the rope that is already unraveled. Cut a piece of strong string, dental floss, or thin twine at least 8 to 10 inches long. Make a bit or loop and place it on one end of the rope. Wrap the string tightly around the rope several times. When the whipping is as wide as the rope is thick, slip the end through the loop. Then pull both string ends hard and cut them off. Fusing rope. Rope and cord made from plastic or nylon will melt when exposed to high heat. Cut away the frayed part of the rope. Then, working in a well-ventilated area, hold each end a few inches above a lighted match or candle to melt and fuse the strands together. Melted rope is hot and sticky, so don't touch the end until it's completely cool.
Requirement 5. Show how to tie a bowline. Explain when this knot should be used and why. Teach it to another scout who is not a Webelos scout. A bowline is a very useful knot to learn. It makes a fixed loop in a rope that will not slip. Unlike a taut line hitch or two half hitches, the bowline can be used to anchor one end of a rope to a tree or other stationary object, or as the loop around the person's chest in a rescue situation, such as pulling a person out of a hole or off the side of a cliff. 1. Make a small overhand loop in the standing part of the rope. 2. Bring the rope end up through the loop, around behind the standing part, and back down into the loop. 3. Tighten the bowline by pulling the standing part of the rope away from the loop. Once you've mastered the bowline, teach it to a younger Cub Scout. Learn a new rope trick. Fold your arms across your chest, lean forward, and pick up one end of a rope in each hand. Unfold your arms, and you have tied an overhand knot. Marble Madness. Snapshot of adventure. Long before there were board games and video games, kids played with marbles. Those little balls of glass are just as fun to play with now as they were back then. In this adventure, you'll get to play several different marble games, including one you make up yourself. You'll also learn some special words only marble players know and discover how to use marbles in mazes, obstacle courses, and more. Are you ready? Then grab your taws, Aggies, and cat's eyes, and let's play marbles. Requirement 1. Discuss with your family and den the history of marbles, such as where and when the game began. Talk about the different sizes of marbles and what they are made of and used for. Did you know that marbles have been around for a long time? Your grandparents may have played marbles, their grandparents may have played marbles, and their grandparents may have played marbles. In fact, marbles have been found in Egyptian tombs and in Pueblo ruins in the southwestern United States. No one knows for sure where and when people started playing marbles. They may have started at different times and places by playing with stones, nuts, fruit pits, and other smooth round objects. Here are some fun facts about marbles. When he was young, the Roman Emperor Augustus played with marbles made of nuts. In 1503, the town of Nuremberg, Germany, passed a law that marbles had to be played outside the town limits.
In the 1700s, people played using chips of marble, which is where the game got its name. In the early 1900s, marbles were made by machine for the first time. The British and World Marble Championship has been played in Tinsley Green, England every year since 1932, but the tradition began there in 1588. Marbles come in many different sizes and colors, and they are used for different things. Larger marbles are used as shooters, while smaller marbles are used as targets. Here are some types of marbles. Cat's eye. Marbles have a swirl of color inside. Tall marbles are between 1/2 inch and 3/4 of an inch in diameter. They are used as shooters. Alley marbles are made of alabaster or marble. Some are made of glass that looks like alabaster or marble. Agate marbles are made of the mineral agate. Some are made of glass but look like agate. True agates are good shooters because they are harder than other marbles. Kami, or common marbles, are originally made out of clay. They are the plainest looking marbles. Requirement 2. Learn about 3 different marble games and learn to play the marble game Ringer. Learn how to keep score. Learn and follow the rules of the game. Play the game with your family, friends, or your den. There are many different games of marble, and each game has its own set of rules and directions. Here are 3 games to try. Ringer. Any number of players can play this game. Draw a ring on the ground about 10 feet across. Put 13 marbles in the middle of the ring, arranged in an X shape. They should be about 3 inches apart. The first player kneels outside the ring and uses his shooter to try to shoot a marble out of the ring. If he misses, his turn is over and he picks up his shooter. If he has a hit and his shooter stays in the ring, he can shoot again from where the shooter stopped. If he has a hit and his shooter goes out of the ring, his turn is over. He keeps any marbles that go out of the ring. When the first player's turn is over, the second player takes his turn, etc. Keep playing until time is up or most of the marbles have been knocked out. The player with the most marbles is the winner.
Join us next time for Activity 15, Project Family, Art Explosion, and more marble games. If you are interested in joining a pack near you, visit beascout.scouting.org.